Hello, Void. How are you doing today? So, I watched a little bit more of an obscure film. I don't think it's completely unknown, but I know it doesn't get a whole lot of attention. And that's Glacier. It's a German film circa 2013. Blutgletscher, I think, in the Blutgletscher. I don't speak German, but title translates exactly the same, so it's what you'd expect there. And I actually did enjoy this film, but there's one common critique I see throughout like all reviews and comments on this film. It's like The Thing, and I can see that. I can't deny that, so I'll just get that part right out of the way. It is very reminiscent of The Thing, which is my favorite movie. Now, that said, this movie is no The Thing, though it has some creativity and inventiveness on its own, and while the similarities are there, one's an Arctic base. The thing is in an Arctic base. Blood Glacier is set on, I think, in the German mountains where the glaciers are starting to recede due to global warming. And they're both dealing with alien mutations. The thing being the shape-shifting monstrosity able to impersonate. This one is creating weird animal hybrids. So while you don't have the paranoia aspect of the thing of who the creature could be, this one does have a lot of inventiveness of being pinned down by who knows what, as well as people potentially getting infected and then giving birth to alien monstrosities. So yeah, okay, this one's got some ambition to it. It's more than just a poor man's The Thing. The acting, I will say, is very good in this film. You definitely are believing everyone who's going through this, and there's a lot of interpersonal drama that is coming to the forefront. Um, let's go with the plot. So this is a research team in the mountains. To say exactly where, the Austrian Alps is where they are. They're essentially it's a very small team: one engineer, three scientists, and a dog. And they're on the verge of having a I think it's the prime minister coming up that way to see some of their research as they're trying to encourage more environmental action to stop the glaciers from receding. So they have a big day coming up. So when they wake up and see one of their outposts to stop transmitting, they send a team over there and come across a strange bloody glacier. They take some samples, and but they note that there's a strange cave with a dead fox that looks like it's got into a fight with his dog, and the dog's hurt. Though it assumes the fox is rabid. There's just something strange about it. Well, after that, strange things start showing up. Particularly, the engineers doesn't really want them to come up here because there's some dangerous animals about. But everyone else says, no, we have to have these people come up here. This is very important for our research. So the scientists are immediately at a standoff with the engineer, who's trying to keep everything running. After he encounters a strange creature that resembles a cross between a beetle and a fox, he gets a little bit more freaked out, despite no one else really believing him. And the scientists still are studying the bloody sample, and it looks like some weird single-celled organisms are in it. Head back to collect more samples, and oh, the blood has vanished from the glacier. But they find a strange giant beetle fox cross and take it and start studying and realize that it's some weird organism that the single-celled things, once they get into something's stomach, begin reacting to anything else present. So fox ate a beetle and then in a woodlouse, mixed with the organism in there, so it gave birth to some strange hybrids. They begin theorizing this is where like hybrids like from mythology, such as the mermaid or perhaps even like Anubis came from. But since they do have some strange mixes. However, the team is still coming up, and they are determined to not let them find out any of this because it's a big discovery. They don't want to cause a panic, and they want to, get the credit for this discovery. While the engineer's like, no, these things are dangerous. The fox thing attacked, and things kind of get to a point where the minister also is coming up with the engineer's old girlfriend, and which further complicates the interactions. Now on the way up, they're attacked by a strange wasp, then hawk cross, as well as a mutant mosquito. On the way up, so once sensing trouble, our engineer goes down, meets them, helps them get up, only to discover that the scientists have hidden all those phones and cell things at a different site because they don't want them calling out about those details, especially since the engineer said he was going to tell them everything. But now they're stranded, without able to call for help, and they start dropping left and right, particularly when an ibex crossed with some sort of insect shows up. Not to mention his dog is getting worse. So, there's a lot going on in this movie, and a lot of it is working for me. The acting definitely is quite stand out. The creature effects, the designs are cool. I will say that. The execution on the effects is a little more 50-50. Some of them are a bit CG heavy. Others, they're clearly using puppets, which I appreciate, but some of them just don't look... Well, they could have used a little bit of sprucing. They're not bad by any means, but they don't really hold up very well. But again, the designs are very cool. They seem to try to cover up a lot of that with a bunch of shaky cam so you can't see the things too clearly, which is a bit of a shame. Also, the movie does take, towards the end, an unnecessary anti-abortion version stance, which it really didn't need to go into. I mean, it isn't very heavy-handed by any means, and it doesn't seem to be trying to preach too much. It more makes it as a point of contention just to set up a awkward end point, but it really didn't need to touch on it, and it could have definitely done that even without. But despite that, I did really enjoy this film overall. I'm going to give this one a 6 MacGuffins. It's The Thing, but what it is doing pretty well. And the acting definitely is up there. Soundtrack, I'll also say, was definitely noteworthy. I don't often comment on a soundtrack because most of them just fade into the background to me. Kind of like they do. This one was notable for really helping set the mood. But yeah, all the same, 6 MacGuffins is really the best I can do overall on this one. It's worth seeing, but not worth revisiting too often. Alrighty, that's everything I got on this one. Have a good day.